Hi, welcome to JDK training channel. So today we're going to see the SQL versus NoSQL databases. So previously we discussed SQL statement 1 and SQL statement 2. It will uh, give the elaborate how to give the queries, how to create the queries to to insert the data and how to maintain the DML, DDL and DCL. So everything we discussed with the practical session in the last videos. So we can discuss in SQL. Today we will discuss about the SQL and NoSQL databases. So why we on the industries are need to use the NoSQL. So that's why we going to see here in upcoming videos. So let's start the session. So SQL is relational database and NoSQL is document data model. So what's the main differences between these? So here the process easy to use and set up, universal uh, with the many tools, and then good at high performance workloads and good at structured data. In NoSQL, no investment to design the models, rapidly development life cycles, and then in general faster than the SQL, run well on the web. In cons, the time consumption to understand and design the structure of the database in SQL and can be difficult to scalable. That is with there. Later we see what is scalable. In NoSQLs, unsuited to interconnected data, technology still monitored can have slower response time. This is the main differences. We elaborate to see one by one. In SQLs, here we see the diagram. There are product-based databases. There are three tables are using. If I want to search or retrieve the data to organize the data, data are stored, fields are stored in rows and columns. So organize the data in rows and columns. But in NoSQLs, the data are stored in the document base. But here I can't do intercommunicate between three tables like primary key and foreign key. But in NoSQLs, no need to use the primary key and foreign key. But it used to uh, display in the document, show in the document. Like you can easy to maintain and fix the data in the NoSQLs. So what is SQL? SQL is effectively used to insert, search, update, delete database record. And SQL database have predefined schemas, that is structured data. Data can be structurized. Like we can create the primary key for the table, and then you want to access the data in another table like for primary key, foreign key access. So this is structured schemas, and it can a lot of things. It can not limited to optimize and maintenance the databases. In release database like IBM DB2, MySQL database, Oracle, MS SQL Server, and Sybase. These are the relation databases. These are things are previously we discussed in last videos. And then what is NoSQL? It is a stands for not only SQL or not SQL. So NoSQL is a non-relational DBMS data management system that is required for fixing the schemas and avoid the joins. So in NoSQLs, we won't use the joins and then constraints like foreign key. And it is used to scalable. The data is used to distributor they are stored with the homogeneous data storage needed. That is, we can access uh, different platform with the different devices. And that's called the homogeneous data storage. And NoSQL is mainly used for big data and real-time web application. And its database dynamic schemas instead unstructured data. For example, the companies like it will uses like Twitter, Facebook, Google, Amazon, That is collect the terabytes for users data for every single day. So what then NoSQL database can handle the wide range of databases technologies, and it is the uh, semi-structured, store structured, unstructured, and is equal to effective. It will implemented created in 1988, 1998, and used the team of NoSQL for lightweight open source relational databases. Like so, no need to install, no need to configuration, no need to use the server start and stop. So these are the lightweight components. It's an open source relational database. So it's a popular non relational database like Apache Cassandra, Apache HBase support the uh, Hadoop, MongoDB, and Radish and Solace. These are the databases used in the NoSQL. Then why we go for NoSQL? It's a popular with internet like Google, Facebook, Amazon. Deal with a huge volume of data. It will support by transferring the data. We could scale up our system by upgrading the existing hardware in the process of expenses. The distributed data loaded the multiple hosts whenever the load increases. It is called the scale out. That time we can access the another server. Then advantages and disadvantages of NoSQL. Advantages is like easier to manage, open source, quick development, easy to scalable, quick setup, extreme flexibility. These are all advantages. And disadvantages is difficult merging more than one data table, and less mature, less support, lack of an experienced users basis, and no standardized reporting. So these are the advantages and disadvantages of NoSQL. Here we see the diagram. You can understand the SQL. The relational database systems, its data is the one table. Is want to connect with another table using primary key and foreign key. Then again it will communicate with another table using primary key and foreign key. So this is the I want to retrieve data by using joins. It will support joins. So interconnect the database. Then here you see the cube called online analytical processing. We can rotate the table as we can access the data which were we can use in the SQL. In NoSQL, use the different type of component or table structures are used. Here we use the type of key values, graph, document, and column store. See, elaborately we see the upcoming videos. So data are stored in the key and values. So key, if example employee ID, I want to give the employee ID. Using that employee, we can access the data, access the values by a single way. So this is the key and this is the value, like pointers. So here we can know about the vertical scalable and horizontal scalable. So vertical scalable is supported in SQL, and horizontal scalable is support NoSQL. Here we can know about if this is a database. This is the if data are stored, I want to increase the data or increase the size. You can use the more RAMs and more CPU and more HDD hardware devices with a single server or single database. But if you go for the NoSQL, it is the horizontal scalable. Using the database, you can access the replication between the more than one data. Like this is the server one, server two, or database one or database two. Up to I can use the clustering data. Within the clustering, we can access within the uh, uh, data explorations with the can access the data in anywhere in any locations. This is the scalable. You can Then another video or another diagram we can able to understand. You can add the more server and merge the data into one database. You can add the more server. If the server one is increased, full the size 1 to 100, the 101 automatically move to the server 2. The 101 to 100 to 201, it will when data is full, automatically move to the next server 100, 201 to 200, 300. So data can split it with the different more servers. But in vertical, we cannot do like that. But it improve on the capacities and hardware. Like we can add the more servers, more we can add the RAM and CPUs, and then the more HDD. Like it is the single server we can maintain. We can increase our sizes and also the uh, uh, also the hardware devices we can add it. So so what the main difference is this: it can in horizontal scaling, the process the data is processing fast than the vertical scalable. So it's use the NoSQL, this vertical scaling use SQL. The feature of NoSQL is a database never follow the relational models, and then flat fixed column record, and then alternate. Uh, um, it mainly you work as a self-contained, and then object relational mapping and the data normalizations, and then the no complex feature like query language, and then query planner, and the integrated joins. So no need to use the integrated joins, and then ASCII. But in schema free is used to schema free is used to relax the schema, and then don't require any sort of define of schemas of the data, and then heterogeneous structure of the data is the same domain with the same platform with the same devices. You can use the heterogeneous structure. So here you can understand, easy to understand the difference between the SQL and NoSQL. The SQL is a relational database. NoSQL is a no relational database. It not store the column and rows and columns, but here data are stored in the rows and columns. It will support SQL queries. It will support JSON query languages, and then table, rows, columns. But here the collection of key and values, document based and field based. Here support primary key and foreign key, and there support triggers. Here is the field based, and then no support key frame foreign key, and no support triggers. And then here the horizontal data storage, not fit for horizontal data storage, but best fit for horizontal data storage. And then it is supported the vertical scale, increasing the RAM. Here support the horizontal scalable, add more servers to access rapidly. We can access any location anywhere. It is a distributed, and then it is a sum of theorems, consistencies, availabilities, and partition tolerance. Here, but here the atomicity is consistency, isolation, and the rules. The main difference between the SQL and NoSQL. Then here the example of RDBMS is explicitly we can type this query to view the customer table, and we get the column and rows wise to get the data in RDBMS. But it is in NoSQL database. You can give the document based schemas, and we can use the simplicity schemas to fix the data easily in the NoSQL. Then it's better to understand the features of performance in SQL is high, relational database is low, reliability is poor, and then it's good, availability is good, and it's so good, consistency is poor, relational database is good, data storage optimize the huge data, but here the size to be large, medium size to be large, but scalability is high, but here's more expensive to increase the, you want to pay the money for to increase the scalability. Here the better know about the SQL and NoSQL. So SQL is the relational database management system. It is a distributed database and vertically scalable, horizontally scalable, fixed or predefined schema. Here dynamic schema. We can access more. We can use the more document to access the schemas. And not suitable for horizontal data storage. Best for horizontal data storage. It store activity structures and can use for complex queries. You can use the joins to access the more tables at a time. No good for the complex. It's easy to access the data in the one document or two documents. Here you can understand the where we use the in NoSQL gaming social medias like Facebook and Twitter, IoT it will supported, web mobile enterprise application it will supported, and then it will data are stored like key and values or document database or column family storage. In SQL's only it's web like I can through the internet banking we can use the web through web we can access the data through mobile we can use the uh, transfer of money through the applications and it can data can access in enterprises data mart but we can use only the relation table structure storage and relations using the joins the table 1 table 2 can access the more table using the joins primary key and foreign key. So better we move to the NoSQL. So here you can understand the SQL database like SQL Server, MySQL, Oracle, and DB2 and Postgres. So it's a percentage of using the companies. But nowadays, going to migrate into NoSQL database like MongoDB and Hadoop, Cassandra. Cassandra it support for Facebook. MongoDB support uh, like Google applications and discuss because and then this type of database are using the NoSQL. So these are you can easy to understand the main difference between the SQL and NoSQL and then how it will applicable companies are going to migrate with the databases like SQL to the NoSQL. So you can understand this video, you can understand basic things about the SQL, difference between the SQL and NoSQL. So in next upcoming videos, we can going to see about the NoSQL, how it can be applicable in the industries, and also we can use to develop the database using the MongoDB and also the Cassandra in upcoming videos. Thank you for your attention and then thank you for giving this opportunity with the give the basic things to understand of SQL and there is no SQL here. Thank you for your provide the valuable time to us. Thank you.